Now let us see that how menus can be created. Any menu can be created by using XML or by using Android APIs. Now how do you create menu using XML? Let us have a look. A menu in XML will look something like this. It will have a starting point. First thing to note is that this stays inside a directory called rest/menu. Second thing to note is that in layout XML file we had the linear layout as the root parent. Here it is menu. So this is the menu. Inside menu you will have various items or group. What is the meaning of group? Group is basically, if I have 6 menus, let us assume that I have 6 menus. M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6. Now what I want is that I want to make sure that at a various parts of the application, inside the application, if a user logged in is a regular user, then he should be able to see only M1, M2, M3 and M4. These ones he should not see. But if the user who has logged in into the system is a admin user or super user, then he should be able to see both. Then what you could do is that you could put this one into one group and this one into another group. And based on that group, you can enable and disable the set of menu items into that group. So that is called the concept of group. And inside the group, you can put the menu items as well. So 1, 2. Now here inside item, there is another menu. This is submenu. So now creating all these menus, groups, submenu, menu items, all of this, do I need to type all of this and do it? Not really. Eclipse ADT plugin has a wizard and tool that you can create all of this through the GUI tool. So don't worry about that. Now once this menu is created, what is the next? Next is that attach this menu to any particular screen or activity. So for that what we do is that we go inside that screen's activity code and we put a method called onCreateOptionsMenu. This method we override. This is an overridden method or it is called back by Android. So when that menu button is clicked in your phone, what exactly happens is that this guy get triggered. And this has get triggered. It means this is the place where you should create the menu using XML or API. So using XML, this one is just definition. This is, you are defining the XML. So this is menu definition. Okay. This is menu creation. How do we do that? We'll see in the code. And that is the pretty much what it happens. So why don't we do one thing? Let us go ahead and create some menu using the menu using XML. So come back to our Eclipse, and to create the menu, the first thing you should go is go to this wizard to help create an XML file and choose the project. It should not have asked had you selected this one. So once you select, it won't ask that. It will take that, and we'll call it example underscore menu, sorry, caps lock sample underscore XML underscore menu using XML menu. So this is the name we'll select, and from here you have to select what? Menu. So let us select that. From here, menu. Okay. So resource type is menu, traveler assistant, sample using XML menu, root element will be menu, next, and then just say finish. What it does is that if you notice, it has created a menu directory, and inside this it has put this XML file. Now, what is inside this XML file? There is nothing, pretty much. Okay. How do I create a menu? There is a wizard called layout, and when I click this, there is an option called add. Here you can use either a group and then inside that few menu items, or you can select this menu item directly. So let us select a menu item directly and we'll put few things. Now if you see this page, for a particular menu item, it first assigns a default item ID called item 1. You can put a menu category, whether it is container, system, or alternative kind of a thing. Most important thing we care about is the title. What is the name you will give to this menu item? I will say MI1, like MI1, 2, 3. Not really, but here it is a condensed. You want a smaller. If you want to put here menu item 1, and you can put here MI1. So if the screen is small or something, then it will use MI1. If you want to associate any icon into this one, you can put here. If there is an alphabetic shortcut, you can put it here. Numeric shortcut, you want to be checkable, checked, visible, invisible in the beginning, enable, disable. So all of these things is possible. You can hide the menu itself. You can show it but not mark it clickable. All that thing is possible. Let us add one more menu item, and we'll call it as create a new element at the top level in menu. So it is asking, do you want an element inside as a sub menu? No, I don't want a sub menu. I want this way. So I will click like this. Sorry, I added group. So let me just remove it and select item. Okay. Here I will just say menu item 2, title condensed MI2, and that's it. And then I will say save. Now if I do save, see what happens. Let us have a look. This is called just formatting I am doing. You can press Control, Shift and F and it will format your XML file. Very important trick but useful. And save it. Now in this one, if you see that it has created two menu items on its own, and the name MI1, MI2 is here. Later if you want to change it, you can come here and change the text as well from here. Now once the menu item 1 and 2 is created, what is the next step for us? Next step is to put it inside my activity. So this is my activity class. What I am going to do here is that we know that to create a menu, there is a particular callback method which gets triggered, and that is called on options. See, on create options menu, sorry. On control space on create options menu. Okay. Now here what we have to do is just call this super. Generally it is a good practice to call super, and then press here return true, so that the super class does not handle the menu. Click, and here we will use menu inflator because we are using now. What is menu inflator? Menu inflator is the class which is used for inflating a XML menu into a real Java object XML, and that's why it is called menu inflator. So get a reference to that menu inflator and then you can use it to inflate your menu. And here you have to give the name of the menu r.menu dot, and it should show you something here. But the menu item which I created, it has not yet done. So let me just save it and once build it. Now the other option is that I can say build automatically. By doing build automatically, every time you make a change, the build take place, so you don't have to worry about. Now come back to this one on create options menu here. Now r.menu dot, this sample using XML menu option now shows up. So if you do like this sample, what it does is that it creates a menu using that XML. Now how to test it? Very simple, just save it and say run it. After you write the code, you have to just save and run, and it takes care of all the things. So let us watch that what it is doing. You can come to console and see if everything is doing fine. It is going to start. That was some old error. So let us start. It is launching that activity. So give it a second here. Now if I click here menu button, see MI1 and MI2 has come. So that is the way you will create XML menus. Right now nothing is happening, but don't worry about that. We'll handle all of that very soon. Once you know that how to create a menu using XML, the next one what you should do is that how to create a menu using API. How do you create menu using API? Creating menu using API is very simple. We have to just worry about that few things. The same method we will have to write called on create options menu, which we use in the XML, but the code inside will change. This time we are going to use menu API classes of Android called menu item, menu class, menu, and submenu. These three API we use to create menu using Android API. Now how we create? We just say inside menu menu.add 011 first menu. But what is this? First, if I create this menu, how the menu would look like? The menu would look like this. First menu, second menu, submenu. This is the way this code will create the menu. And what it will do, when you click this, it will launch a floating menu called submenu item 1. So this code is going to produce this kind of a menu. Now in this API, the only thing we have to understand is that what is this, and what is this parameter? What are these parameters and what is the use of that? First parameter is called group ID, and I have explained you that why group is required in the menu. Second one is called item ID. Item ID means that a particular ID of item, it is like an item ID of a checkbox, text view, edit text, and all those things. And the third one is the order. What does order means? Order means that if I have 6 menus, will it place all the 6 menus randomly at any place out of these 6 locations? Does it have a particular sequence in which it puts? Yes, it has a sequence. So that order or sequence is the same thing. Now, if you want to place a menu, the location goes like this. The Android menu sequence has a fixed position. This is called 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I want a particular menu item to appear only here, then I should put value here as 4. If I want a particular menu, second menu, but this will only be valid if there are 6 menus. If there are 2 or 3 and you give 6, then it doesn't make sense. So depending on that how many menus you have, you should give here 4, 5 or 2 depending on that. So depending on which location you tell him to go, and that is the way to tell that please arrange the menu items in this sequence. Now once we understand that these are the basic fundamentals of creating the menu, let us look into how to create menu in our Eclipse project called Traveler Assistant. What we are going to do is that we are going to write the code for creating menu. And as I said that, let us comment out this one. Okay, and we'll say here Android API way to create menu. Okay, we'll start with declaring a variable for menu item mi equals to null, and import. This one is also required if you are going to attach a listener or not, but I think that in our case we can get away without this. So menu.add dot select this one. Group ID, we don't care about group, so I will just give 0. Item ID, generally I start with item ID equals to 1 and then go from there, so you can take 1 as well. And order, you start with 0. And now if we go into our project, I have all of these activities. So when I need a menu item here so that I can launch these 3 activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one comes from here. So what I will do is that I will create 6 menu items which I will later use for this 6 purpose. Okay. Right now I will just leave it as a blank after creating. So I am going to create expense like this. Okay. And once you create this, the faster way to create all those 6 menus is copy paste. Okay. And here item ID keep changing 3, 4, 5, 6, and not to confuse with order ID, I can do 11 like this. And this one give a sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now here also you can use the submenu, not a problem. To do the submenu, you have to just use the submenu syntax which I have told you here. This code. Okay, so that is pretty straightforward. Now once you create these menu items, the next thing what we have to do is that how to capture the clicking on each one of these menus. To capture the clicking of this menu, there is a standard menu listener method which is given by Android called onOptions click menu. So let us select on options item menu, on options item selected. Okay. What we'll do here is that first move this whole return thing here, and we'll use here a switch statement. This is a Java switch statement, nothing very different. Item dot get item ID. Now what is this item ID is going to give you? This is going to give you this item ID. Okay. So basically the idea is that out of the 6 menu, how do I find out which menu item got clicked? So what Android does is that it finds out which menu item got clicked and then it passes the item ID. Before that, I forgot to put the name for all of these menu items. I am putting same to everyone. So expense map preference service, expense map, otherwise all menu item will look same. Preference service Wi-Fi and intent. Okay, so we are done. Now here, let us put this one. Switch statement and then lot of case statement. Case 11, semicolon this, break, semicolon this. Now this one, let us copy 6 times. And each of this will give some different number. So basically that is what it does. Okay. And then default. So now we are done with the our switch case statement for this one. Now what it means is that whenever the menu button is clicked, this method get called back. And whenever any of the menu items are clicked, if it is not a submenu, this method get triggered. So basically all of these works on a callback mechanism. The system will trigger these methods depending on the particular event happening. Now if this on options item gets selected, get triggered when the menu item is clicked, it will go inside and it will check what is the item ID of that menu item, and based on that it will do the business logic. Right now we are not interested in doing anything interesting right now. We are just interested in creating some menu item and see that how to handle the menu event. So what we'll do is that you clicked 11 is expense menu. Okay, and then copy this one to all other action like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that's it. And change the text a little bit, otherwise all will look same. So let me just do a little quick formatting and I will show you. So what we are planning to do is that instead of expense, map preference service. So map preference service Wi-Fi intent. Now this is what completes our menu item creation using API. So menu.add group 0, item ID 11, order or sequence 0 will do this. So let us run this one and see what happens. Okay. Now if I click the menu, what happens? We have got three menus: expense, map, preference, service, Wi-Fi, and intent. What happens if I click map? Hey, you clicked map menu. It means that my menu item clicking is working perfectly fine. If I click intent, hey, you click intent menu. What it means is that all our menus are working perfectly fine. Now we need to put some business logic, realistic application related business logic into them. And that we'll do it over next release of this same software. So far what we have done is that we have created an activity called traveler assistant activity, and in that we have seen how to handle the button, how to handle the menus, and attach action to all of these. We have also understand how to take care of the life cycle of activity. Now once we have done that, let us see what is the next action for us. So activity menus, these we have covered, and this is what done. Next action is how to communicate between various activities, and we will also discuss about how to deal with alert dialog.